Everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today, I want to talk to you guys about a little issue or something that happened to Jen and I when we were racing now a couple weeks ago, where we were racing these two cars, the M1, BMW M1 specifically, when we were racing these cars, and we noticed that one car was clearly faster than the other one, but by a lot. Like we had to reduce the speed considerably. I think this was at 80%. This car here, the black Cassani, BMW M1 and Cassani livery, was at 80%. We had to turn it down to 40% in order for it to actually catch up. So yeah, sorry. The blue one, which is the slower one, was at 80% speed on the Carrera track. And this guy, we had to turn him down to like 40, 45 to kind of equal out the playing field. Now, normally that was like a little bit of a red flag, because I could understand turning down some cars a little bit, 10, 20% maybe, because every car is different depending on what you're racing in certain classes. I did a video a while back about how I class my cars. That was all magnet racing, so I can understand that. But at the same time, a 40% jump in speed to just keep it the same didn't seem right. It didn't seem correct in my brain. So I said, you know what, let's deep dive a little bit. Let's see what's going on. So the first thing I did was I swapped out the motors. But before we get into that, a little history about these cars. I got this car off Warren from Light Tech Slots. It's actually a used car that he actually got off MP Slot Car, which is, kind of nice. I kind of feel a little special that I'm owning a little bit of, I have a car that once was MP Slot Car's collection, is now my collection, so it's sentimental to me. And then I got this car off Raul. Awesome. Okay, getting back to it. So Jen and I are racing. I got the racing pair, one off Raul, one off Warren, and this car. And I was warned, because when I spoke to MP about it, he said, "Yeah, man," he goes, "that car was really, really fast. I actually regret selling it." He goes, "I miss it." He goes, "It was one of my faster cars." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I noticed it's fast on the track," but I didn't realize until we started racing with this blue one here, the in the Pooh livery. It's really nice. It's got the zipper on it. I love that. I think it's really neat. And so I said, you know what, let me swap out the motors. Clearly, Massimo spent a lot of time on this car. The motor's well broken in. Let's swap out the motors and see what's up. And nothing changed. The Cassani was still faster. And I'm like, okay. Even before that, I broke in this motor. I said, let me break in the motor, and because I didn't want to mess with this car. And that didn't really change much of the performance. We did see better performance out of the car, but not enough to beat this car. So that's when I started tumbling down this, this rabbit hole of like, well, what's up? Does body really matter? Do gears really matter? Do the tires really matter? And the short answer is yes, but not enough to make a difference. So what I ended up doing, without getting into a whole crazy explanation, is that I ended up switching out the axles. I did an axle swap. So at that point, there's basically the only same thing. No, that's not good English. The only things that were similar to these cars or different to these cars were the liveries and the bodies and the chassis. I didn't swap out the guides because they're both slot invasion guides. I just swapped out the front axle, back axles with each other, and figured, hey, let's maybe there's something there. And there was not. There was absolutely nothing there. The Cassani was still faster. So that got me thinking. The only other thing, and with the help of the Discord community, and I was like, letting other people know what was going on, the conclusion was, well, there's got to be something with the chip, with the digital decoder. So I did a chip swap. So I started making a video about the timings of the Cassani before the chip swap and after, and then I got into like this better idea of doing other things, and I got this crazy idea of doing a a drag race to see what was going on, and the Cassani was winning. So before I get into that, let me cut to that video. It's a video that I did a few days ago, and what ended up happening was, life happens, and I had to cut the video short, and then the battery died, and then Jen called me, I had to go out, and I lost my flow. So that's why, so please excuse the roughness of this. It's not gonna flow as nicely as I'd like it to, but I just wanted to show you the steps I took into deciding if it was actually the chip. And yeah, let's get to it. All right, so we're at the track. I'm gonna do a few laps to see what kind of timings I can get to actually officially put some timings down on this car. And you know, I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, I noticed that when I drive this car, it's super sensitive. It just wants to go. It clearly could benefit from some weight in the car itself, just because of how squirrely it is compared to the other blue car, the other M1. So let's do some laps and let's see what times, what kind of timings we can get. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. Ah. All right, so after that, you know, disaster of a time trial, which took a lot longer than I wanted to, I can still feel that the car is super quick right off the get-go, and we got a fastest time of 6.110 seconds, so basically 6.11 seconds. And let's see now if I don't switch out the chip, if we can't get some better times, or if the car will respond slower and more controllable, because right now this thing just like takes off. Actually, you know what? Let's do a drag race. I think that would be really cool. All right, let's do a drag race. Let's put the cars together. I don't know why I didn't think about this before. Let's put the cars together side by side and drag them down the strip to see if there actually is a, if one of the cars actually is taking off faster. Let's do it. All right, we've got both cars ready to go. The laps are at 0. I made a race for one. I've made a race for 1 lap, and let's see who crosses the finish line first. Well, that wasn't good. I popped off the spoiler. That went somewhere. Not too bright there, Jojo. Oh man, where'd that spoiler go? That probably fell on the floor. Yeah, not too bright there, buddy. All right, so Two Wolves won that one on the straightaway. Let's do another couple of shootouts and see what's happening. I'm gonna have to get the safety Swiffer this time because that was a terrible crash. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Two Wolves again. Two Wolves again. Oh, I'm beating up on my Lambo here. Not fun, not fun. Oh, yeah, there you go, Joe. Cracked your Lambo. I'm having fun here, guys. I'm having so much fun. All right, okay. So as you can see in those videos, the Cassani is still winning. It won 3 out of 3 from that drag race that I figured out how to do, and that was kind of fun. And what ended up happening was, so I did the chip swap. I noticed after those videos, I did the chip swap, and I noticed that there was some numbers. I wrote down those numbers. I didn't know what they meant, so I wanted to deep dive into that a bit further. And then what happened after that was quite unfortunate, because right off the bat, when I did the chip swap and I put the Cassani chip into the Poo car, it started winning the those shootouts, those mini drag races, if you will. And I thought that was really cool. But then my battery died. And right as I was gaining my last video, so it didn't record the video, the phone shut down. It was a disaster. Jen called me. I ended up having to go out and do stuff, you know, honey-do list and all that stuff. And yeah, so I lost my flow. I lost I lost my flow, and I lost my momentum. So I'm just gonna tell you that, you know, you're gonna have to take my word for it. The chip swap actually fixed the issue. Not that it fixed the issue, but this car, the Poo, started performing better, and it was as if, you know, there was no difference. So I did notice a difference in the chip, which brought me to the conclusion that, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was an actual difference in the chip. So I wanted to deep dive further into those numbers that I was seeing on the chip, and Warren from Like Tech Slots again helped me out without warning. I mean, Warren is like the Google of this community. You can just talk to him and say like, oh, I saw this thing, and then boom, he'll pop it up and be like, oh, this is what you're talking about, blah 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 blah. Quite amazingly, he has a talent for this. I digress. So yeah, sure enough, there is an article on the Slot Car Forum where this gentleman goes through his findings, and he found that a certain chip made, I believe, before 2020, and how it's categorized there. on the chip itself, how there's a serial number, you can actually find these chips. And if the capacitor on that chip has a certain number on it, I believe it's 132 or no 332, excuse me. I should write this down. You know, I'm just how I roll. I just kind of roll off the top of my head. Yeah, so I believe if the capacitor has a 332 on it, it's something to do with the ohmage, and that ohmage is causing the car to actually run a little faster. Now, Carrera has corrected this or just changed their firmware or capacitor since then, but you can identify the chip as the issue if you are having this issue yourself, if you were ever curious to be like, oh, hey, what's going on? And sure enough, not only MP Slokar mentioned that his car was faster, but Big Oak Raceway, if you did not have checked out his channel, please do so. He's a new channel. Go support him. Show him some love. Get him motivated to put out more videos. He's got a beautiful track, and I'd love it if he would just show it more and get his YouTube channel going. But anyways, he sent me a few videos about testing his cars, his M1s. He paired them to one controller. And you know, he did that backyard science, which, you know, we all love. If you remember that video that I did, that was crazy. That was so long ago, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, so he did that, and that's what you're seeing right now. He came to the same results, that his car was faster. The M1 was faster. Now, did he do a chip swap? Did he test the cars? You're gonna have to go to his channel and wait for that video to come out. I'm not about to take his thunder. He's gonna do his own testing on his own time, and I look forward to seeing that, so someone else can back me up on this. But I think we are pretty good with this article that I will leave the link down below. You guys can read that yourself. There was a difference in chip, guys. So I was not crazy. I did not purposely sabotage Jen's car. There was an actual difference in the production or quality of the chip. I don't think the quality is still good, but I think you know what I mean. There was a difference in, definitely a variance, a strong variance in chip, and there is a fix for it. You can take out the capacitor and replace the capacitor, or do a parallel capacitor soldering job. I ain't doing that. I don't think the majority of you are going to do that. The ones who will or want to, by all means, hats off, you know, 100%. So my quick fix was, by taking out the magnets and keeping the chips swapped as they are, for some reason I don't need to change the speed anymore. These cars are actually equally battle ready and are very more equally matched on the track. So I'm gonna keep the chips swapped in these cars and keep racing and keep testing. And if I really have to do something, then I'll do something. Maybe I'll weigh down the car a bit. Stay tuned for those videos, that Monday Night Madness that Jen and I do. I just wanted to share this with you guys. I didn't want to make it too long. I'm sorry. I don't know how long this is going to be. Thank you to Big Oak Raceway. Thank you to Warren at Light Tech Slots. You guys have been awesome. I don't get paid for saying his name, so don't. There is an IRR 10, gets you 10% on Warren's website, so there is that. But no, I'm not getting paid to mention his name. I think I mentioned Warren a bunch of times. But you guys have been awesome. Thank you to the Discord community. Thank you to the regular community. I believe there's even a post on Facebook about this. There was a gentleman who was having an issue, and everyone's coming together. So I can't wait to post this video to them to say, hey guys, you know, you're not crazy. Yeah, there is a difference in chips. Don't fret. Anyways, like always, guys, if you like this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And as always, if it's good for you, good for you. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one.